Good evening, everybody. My name is Asia Richards, and I'm here to discuss my leadership project. First, we will talk about the definition of leadership, then move to meeting the interviewee. Next, the approaches to leadership, then the great debate of leaders, born or made. The traits and characteristics of leadership, intelligence and integrity, and how they relate to leadership, what makes an effective leader, an assigned versus emergent leader, the contingency theory, and the path goal theory. At the end of this discussion, we will understand how each concept relates to the interviewee. To begin, the word leadership is versatile. Every individual has a different perception of the word. The simplest definition of leadership is the act of being a leader. To understand what leadership is, one must be able to identify a leader. My personal definition, someone who guides a group of people or an organization through their words and or their actions. Next, meet the interviewee, Mr. Kevin Allen Jr. He currently holds a position as the Associate Director of the Student Union Operations on FAU campus. He started off as a tech crew member at Florida State University. By the time he graduated with his bachelor's in higher education, he was the operations manager of the student union. Then he moved to FAU to be the vice president of student affairs. Then got promoted to his current position a couple months later. Next, the approaches to leadership. The foundation of leadership is built upon two styles: trait and behavioral. Trait leadership styles are defined as a habitual pattern of behavior, thought, and emotion. Some leadership traits are decisive, persistent, cooperative, and fluent in speaking. Some leadership skills are clever, organized, and persuasive. On the other hand, the behavioral leadership style is learned, developed, and can be improved. Behavioral theories focus on how leaders behave. Three types of leaders: autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leaders. An autocratic leader makes decisions without consulting their team. This is appropriate when decisions need to be made quickly and when team agreement isn't necessarily a successful outcome. Democratic leader. This allows the team to provide input before making a decision. This is important when team agreement matters. Last, a laissez-faire leader, which allows people within the team to make many of the decisions. This works when the team is motivated, capable, and doesn't need supervision. This type of leadership was the reason characters in the case computer service teams at Avionics did not succeed. Next, the great debate of leaders being born versus made. When asked this question, Mr. Allen had two answers. On the born side, he said leaders are born with superb speaking abilities, highly charismatic, and they're extroverts. On the made side, he said, just because you're not charismatic or an extrovert does not mean you do not have the ability to be a leader. Then his next quote, yes, I would love to be in a room of aspiring leaders. His last quote made me think he was more on the made side. Next, the characteristics and traits of leadership. Researchers such as Stockdale, Mann, Kirkpatrick and Locke, Zuccaro, and Kemp and Bader each came up with their own traits and characteristics to leadership. The top 5 common characteristics of these researchers are intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability. The qualities that Mr. Allen passionately exemplifies: intelligence, self-confidence, and integrity. Intelligence. Intelligence is not just how knowledgeable someone is, but how their personal traits allow them to learn. According to psychologist Howard Gardner, there are 9 different forms of intelligences: linguistic, logical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, spatial, bodily kinetic, musical, naturalist, and existential. To me, Mr. Allen's demeanor displays linguistic and interpersonal. Just from his answer to even the basic questions, you can tell he's an extrovert and obtains great communication skills. Listening to him speak at general body meetings about school and controversial topics in the world, one can hear how confidently he speaks. He's very knowledgeable. His interpersonal intelligence was confirmed when he was asked about what makes an effective leader. This will be discussed later on. Intelligence and self-confidence go hand in hand. A leader should be confident in what they know and what they're saying to influence the followers. Think of it like this. How are the followers going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? Next, integrity. Like leadership, integrity is versatile and has numerous meanings. Leaders with integrity instigate self-assurance in others because they can be trusted to do what they are going to say they're going to do. Mr. Allen showed this trait when explaining what annoys or angers him. He says, "You can't trust people who can't tell the truth. As a leader, you are leading initiatives and projects. You are making this investment in these individuals because you have to trust them with tasks and responsibilities. If you lie, I cannot lead with you." According to Mr. Allen, integrity can take you far in leadership. You are leading your followers to eventually become leaders themselves, so then the cycle can continue. Having integrity builds trust, which is a key component to have when building a leader-follower relationship. Next, what makes an effective leader? According to Mr. Allen, humility. A leader is so wise and effective to humble themselves to be able to listen to those who are leading. An effective leader has humility beyond their position. They humble themselves and give voice to those that are following them. According to Forbes, the top 10 qualities of an effective leader: honesty, the way they delegate, communication, confidence, commitment, a positive attitude, creativity, intuition, the way they inspire, and the approach of it all. These 10 qualities build an effective leader. An assigned versus emergent leader. Assigned leadership is leadership based on occupying a position within an organization. For example, a captain, a president, a sergeant, or a manager. An emergent leader are the ones who inspire, are respected, and followed. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "If you want to build a ship, do not drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea." This quote is saying to push one's followers to emerge over time into the leader both you and them know they can be someday. The contingency theory. The contingency theory is a leader match theory, which means it tries to match leaders to appropriate situations. Think of the theory as one size does not fit all. Mr. Allen stated, "My entire leadership style is based upon who I am leading. You cannot have one set way of doing anything as a leader. It is impossible because people are different, and leadership is based on people." Analyzing any situation before making a decision can help a person avoid various conflicts. For example, if you know a person is sensitive and fragile, the leader should handle the person in a delicate manner. Better results will come from showing understanding and compassion for this certain person. Next is the path goal theory. The path goal theory accentuates the relationship between the leader's style and the characteristics of the followers and the organizational setting. The goal is to augment employee motivation, empowerment, and satisfaction so they become productive members of the organization. Like any process, the process to increase motivation within employees starts with defining a goal. State these goals to the employees so they know what they're working for. Then clarify a path on how to get there, remove obstacles, and provide support. I believe support should be given through each step. Next, the way to think in order to implement this theory. Mr. Allen states, maybe they, the followers, do not like where they are. Maybe you can help them out of this place and put them where they will shine. You are talented as a leader when you cater your style to them to make them feel invested in where you're going. A leader's job is to create a vision, the vision that is shared between the followers and the leader. Once the followers see that the leader is on the same level as them, or they have gained each other's respect, then they're not only does the follower become a leader, but the leader and the follower are sharing this leadership. They're sharing the weight. They're creating more leaders. Implementation. Mr. Allen states, give voice to those who are following you. Weave those concepts into a sure vision so that everybody that is following them feels vested in where they're going. You are no longer leading them, you are leading with them. Become a part of the team where you are going and how you are operating. As stated before, once you implement the path goal theory, you are creating shared leadership. The leader then can sit back and become the follower. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in my discussion. Thank you.